Hello comrades, Commissar Bro here today with a quick review of Hegemony 3 Clash of the Ancients. That's right, this is the newest Hegemony game from Longbow Games. If you're familiar with Hegemony, Philip of Macedon, Hegemony Gold, Wars of Ancient Greece, and also The Rise of Caesar. All, in my personal opinion, really good games. I enjoy them all. Rise of Caesar I didn't like as much as I liked Wars of Ancient Greece. But, you know, personal preference is a little bit too narrative for me. But anyway, here we have Hegemony 3 Clash of the Ancients. This takes place before all three of those particular games. I'm guessing here, around 500 BC. I don't think it actually says. But, you know, I could sit here and prattle on. I do want to go ahead and let you know that there is a map editor for this game. There are two scenarios. One where you can play as Etruria, which... basically, you can play as three separate factions of Etruscans, or you can go ahead and do the unification of Italy, which is essentially the grand campaign that allows you to play as the Etruscans, Samnites, Greeks, Romans, and so on. There's quite a few factions here. Now, I've already decided to do my own campaign, playing as the Romans, because of course... And we're going to click resume and we're going to take a look-see, and I'm going to talk about the game and talk about the things I like and the things I don't like. So I hope you're ready for that. Alright, so here we are in game. This is Rome. As you can see, oh, isn't she pretty? Yes, she is, my sweet, sweet Rome. As you can see, these are some of my fighting Romans. My Latin hoplites, my levies of Lanuvium, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so I actually have a pretty decent army, and as you can see, I've kind of built up myself a little bit of an empire here. I've taken over Cisrostia, Lanuvium, and Trebula. That's right. So this is pretty much my empire as it stands. This is the size of the map. So this is a pretty damn big map. Just like Wars of Ancient Greece. Yes. There's plenty of enemies to fight. There's quite a few different types of enemies as well in the game. So, you know, and the AI is effing challenging. Like, I mean, there's no other way of putting it. The AI in this game is definitely, even on easy, they can make you keep your shit covered. Like, if you're not keeping your borders covered, the AI does not hesitate to move in and steamroll your ass. For example, here in Lanuvium, I moved all my soldiers out, and what do you know? The AIs that brought hoplites. This blue guy, I don't know what faction this is. What is that? Antium? Okay, so it is Antium. Antium brought in hoplites, and you know, they were pretty much sieging it. But thankfully, I managed to muster some more troops to actually go in there and kick them out. Not to mention, like, this group of hoplites also tried attacking, which we managed to defeat them. So on and so forth. Blah 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 blah. All that good stuff. Now, there's, like I said, there's a lot of new stuff here, and there's a lot of really cool stuff here for those coming from the previous games. You've got, first of all, I'll mention the tech tree. That's right. You get a certain amount of points each week, and the more technological stuff you get, the more points you get, but also the more points it costs. You've got a military tree, you've got an economy tree, and you've got a navy tree. That's right. No, I tend to focus on the military because that's how I roll. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to focus on some economy, especially because, you know, it adds a bunch of stuff that would probably be useful to help with some of my monetary woes. That's right, and food woes. Do not ever overextend yourself. You will regret it. Trust me. I've made many mistakes in the past 5 hours or so of the game that I have played. So... yeah, that's kind of the important stuff there. One other thing I will mention is there's a nice little, you know, upgrade system in the game where essentially, like, you can upgrade your cities and pretty much anything really between from resource producers and so on. They have various upgrades, as you can see here, and even your units, they have upgrades on themselves as they gain experience. Again, something from Rise of Rome, and, well, even Philip of Macedon and Wars of Ancient Greece had it as well, where you could pretty much upgrade your troops. However, these are more direct upgrades and whatnot. So let me see if I can actually show that bit off. Yeah, here we go. So this Levies of Rome group, for example, has 2,000 experience points, and there's quite a few guys to choose from to upgrade it with. You can have a maximum of 4. However, they can level up from that point. So, like, we have a level 2 marksman. Essentially, the bonus he gives is plus 25% range, plus 25% of damage, so on. Alright, so there's the basics out of the way. All in all, my opinion of the game is I like it. It's a good game. It's most certainly right in vein with the other ones. If you enjoy Wars of Ancient Greece, Philip of Macedon, or Rise of Caesar, you will most certainly enjoy this one. However, this game seems to be lacking a certain coat of polish that the other games are otherwise notorious for having, if you ask me. Now again, this may just be isolated experiences, this may have something to do with my computer or whatnot ever. However, I will say that certain textures pop in and out, certain textures don't look right, don't look good. For example, look here at this little Roman lady where her skin is basically clipping through the toga. And yeah, you see weird stuff like that. Some of the animations in the game are a little disjointed. I'm going to show you right now. Like, yeah, look at that. That's just beautiful. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. But like I said, the more you kind of look around, the more you notice it. For example, this woman's boobs seem to be completely hanging out of her shirt. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really weird graphical clipping and stuff like that all over the place. This particular woman is basically naked. Yeah, and it's incredibly... It's aggravating. I know it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't really affect the actual gameplay itself. But, I mean, come on, presentation, gentlemen. But anyway, so yeah. And then, like I said, animations seem to be a little strange and disjointed, especially in combat, which is something the old games didn't have. I know Rise of Caesar sort of did, and maybe it's because they kind of went up to like different models or whatever they did. But there's most certainly a difference. Now, again, not that big of a deal. The game still plays fine, and it's still fun. It's not like that's such a big deterrent as to tell someone not to buy it. Again, it's just kind of weird and bothersome. Another big and incredibly annoying problem in this game is exactly what I'm doing right now, where I'm moving my army in a formation, as you can see here. Now you have your skirmishers set up in and like, what is even going on here? Look at that. Like, I guess the mouse cursor's going on. That's ridiculous, and it does that a lot actually. As you zoom out and stuff like that will happen. Anyway, more onto this formation issue that I have that has been driving me absolutely batshit insane. And yes, okay, lag spikes. Okay, so this is just freaking out. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's freaking out. So, again, this type of stuff here, like, you don't really know what's going on, and the more I play it, the more I start to notice stuff like this. Okay, enemy units have been sighted. Oh, whoop-de-fucking-do. Don't care. Anyway, so, like I said, with this formation moving, essentially, because they're all in a formation, if you tell the formation to attack, the skirmishers will charge right along with the hoplites, which I guess in theory is fine until you consider the fact that skirmishers are ranged. They're not supposed to be charging in with them. They're supposed to be attacking from the rear, right? Or at least that's how I would understand it. At least their use, especially based on like their skills and whatnot. And good Christ, I think he's got some serious range. So it's aggravating. It's incredibly aggravating because, like, you'll say attack, they'll go in and charge, they'll get wiped out by a melee unit. They were never meant to fight in the first place. Now, of course, if you select them and keep them separate from your hoplites or your spearmen or whatever your melee troops are, they're fine. They don't make that mistake. Again, it just gets aggravating when you're trying to actually do some serious troop maneuvering. Right now, this is small scale, so it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, when you've actually got decent-sized militaries, like, fighting between each other, that can be an incredibly big pain in the ass. But again, you know, maybe it's just my personal preference on that one. Another problem that I have with the game is... I've never had a problem with this before, and any of the other hegemonies I played, but right here, when you zoom out, look at that. It's uncomfortably close, if you ask me, because, like, look, this city, for example, we're looking at the city, or even, let's take Rome, for example. Like, Rome takes up pretty much our whole screen here, right? and then we click one notch back, and we can't see that map anymore. Yeah. I'm fine with the whole map screen. I personally like the way the map screen is set up, and what the fuck is going on here? Not good. Not good at all. Men, retreat. And I really wish that would stop fucking up, or whatever. But yeah, like I said, I've never had a problem with this before. But it's most certainly noticeable in this particular game. Like I said, in areas like this, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, yeah, sure, I've got plenty of room to look around, but when you start getting close to these cities, man, it's like, you just kind of want to zoom out. Like, right here would be the perfect spot to see plenty of stuff and still be visible, but it turns into the map instead of being visible. Yeah, so again, personal issue maybe, but still, it would just be nice if they could fix that particular issue. And again, the map I'm a fan of. I like the strategic overlay map. That's fine. And even then, when you zoom out with the strategic overlay map, it seems like it kind of disappears a little bit too close. So, like, if you're really trying to assess the situation and zoom really far out, like, especially when your empire starts getting bigger, you can't fucking see anything, man. You know, you got to look at it from this perspective, which I'm sure most people are fine with. But again, maybe it's just a personal issue with me. Something else that kind of bothers me is this as well, is the supply line lines seem kind of messed up. Like, I don't know. I get the city is big when you zoom in, and yeah, see, they fit perfectly well. But when you zoom out, it's this tiny little tile right here, and like the lines, again, yes, I'm just finding things to complain about. But really, I mean, for games that have always been really big on presenting a really well done, finished product that's a hell of a lot of fun, some of this stuff is kind of disappointing, because it's like, oh, it seems like you didn't really bother to clean it up, to clean up that presentation, especially if you check out the trailers. Oh, they make this game look damn good, like there's no graphical errors, there's nothing. Of course, it's a trailer, but still, you know, it's the thought behind it. I've bought every single one of these games, and I'm a fan of this series, so this is kind of it's slack. It seems like the game is just not finished. Like, there's just that one little bit of coat of polish that they were going to apply, but decided rather than do that, let's just go ahead and release the game and sell it, and we will patch it in later, which I sure do hope they do. And also, look at these animations. Ugh. This is like, what, like, it looks like a dude who's trying to smoke a cigarette running at the same time. I don't know. Certain stuff like that is But again, nitpicky. Overall, the game's fun. Again, if you like the Hegemony game, this is right up your alley, and you're probably going to enjoy this. But do be warned, dear consumer, dear Hegemony fan, there's most certainly issues. Mostly graphical. Like, look at this, is ridiculous. Like, what is this? How am I? That is so. It's so distracting. Like, look at the thing shake. But yeah. Like I said, it's a good game. It's just as good as the other ones in terms of all the stuff going on. All the personality is here. The game overall looks good, and it plays pretty good. But like I said, there's a couple of issues here and there that mar this from being a fucking great game, and it just doesn't seem like it's finished. Maybe they had some sort of graphical issue. Maybe they ran out of money. I don't know what it is, but I sure do hope that in the next couple of weeks these issues will be kind of ironed out. And again, I imagine the camera thing's probably not going to be fixed anytime soon, but I sure do hope that at least we can get like this graphic stuff cleaned up, because like that is just like, what is she doing? You cannot tell me that a Roman citizen, like a woman at this period of time, would basically just walk around naked, because I mean that's pretty much what she's doing. She's wearing an apron. It's not even like a toga or anything. I don't know what's going on here. And like all the women in this game look fucking weird. Like, why do they look like that? I don't know. I'm far be it from me to be like, oppression, sexualization, or whatever. But I mean, God, could you make it any more blatantly obvious? Like, look at what she's wearing. Jesus, I mean, her shirt is so low cut, it goes down to her belly button. What the fuck are you trying to show with that? I mean, if at least it was a visually appealing woman, maybe I could agree, but, like, I mean, she looks like a Play-Doh doll or something. Her feet are gigantic. Look at those feet. Look at those calves. Oh, goodness. She must run every day. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro basically shitting on this game. Don't get me wrong. It's a good game. It's fun. And if you like Hegemony, you'll probably like this. So I hope you guys go out and support the devs if you feel like they deserve it. Personally, I do think they do deserve it. And I'm feeling pretty confident that they'll fix it. But again, I just feel like you should be warned before you go into the purchase expecting something that you might not get. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching. And look at those chicken legs. That is just sexy. I'll see you next time.